If you want to see this look and how I achieved it, keep watching. Hi, thank you for joining me today at Beauty with Queen Dreads. So if you have clicked on this video, you want to know how to get that flawless base so your makeup lasts all day. As you can see, I've already done my eyes, but the start to any good makeup is to make sure your face is clean and moisturized, which I've already done. If y'all want to see my video routine for that, leave a comment below and I'll share it with you. And so what I'm going to do now is prime, and I like to use two. So I like to use one in this zone in my dry area to help set that set. And what I'm using today is going to be the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And I like to apply this with the brush. So what I do is I dip it in the brush, and I like to paint it on. Kind of like, almost like face paint. I'm getting my war paint ready so I can face the day. And this is only in the spots that I get dry. So once that's on, I like to just dab it in with my fingers. I don't blend it all out. I kind of just dab it in. I leave like a good little layer of it. And then I go in with my second primer. And my second primer today is going to be the Fenty Soft Blur. Use a couple of pumps of that and go around everywhere else. So around the edge of my face, my little chin, and I dab that in. And the key, I almost messed up my eye. You saw that? The key to that is you want to pat it in and give it a few seconds to dry. And while that's drying, the next step is to find out what foundation you're going to use. I think today I'm going to also use Fenty, and I'm going to be using the hydrating foundation in the shade 340. And as I said in my last video, I like to change up the way I apply. So sometimes I use a brush and sometimes I use a sponge. Today I'm also going to use my brush. And I like to pump it on the back of my hand first and then dab it on in sections on my face. And whatever's on the back of my hand, I pick it up with the brush. A little touch more, I didn't get enough. And then you want to just kind of pounce it. I like to pounce it. I don't like to buff. Pounce it in on your face. Make sure you get your ears and down your neck. Close up under that eye. And I know a lot of people have problems picking their foundation shade. What you want to do is, if you know the name of a shade and a color that you like, you can go to this website called Findation.com. And on Findation, you can enter in the name and the shade that you love. And you can and it will give you the colors and the names in other shades and other brands that you would use. You see that? You want to make sure you get up in your hairline so you don't be looking two different colors. Get that ear and down your neck. My brow keep wanting to show y'all what it look like. I also get my lips. It's a good step in making your lipstick last all day. I like the way this feels on my skin. It's giving me that dewy look. And for you ladies that's a little oily, you still can use this. It's all about how you powder it. And like I said at the beginning, I get powdery dry around here and across here and around my mouth. So now that I got my foundation on, look at that. Looking like new skin, look at that. Now it's time to conceal and highlight. I don't really have nothing to conceal. Like, I don't have a bunch of blemishes on my face. But if you did, before this step, you would color correct with like an orange or a red. Powder it before you apply your foundation and then apply your foundation. But for the purposes of looking cute and making the under eye highlight pop, you want to use, well, you don't have to use, you want to use an under eye concealer, and you want to use a shade that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your original shade. So I use 2 actually because I'm extra. So I use one that's closer to my shade, and then I use another one that's a little lighter. I'm going to show you how I do that. And I'm going to use my little mirror that I made. Well, it's actually a Jeffree Star mirror. I just blinged it up. So what you do is you take your concealer and the one that's closest to your shade, and you put that under your eye. You don't have to do that Instagram makeup where they make the whole triangle and all of that. That's extra. That's for the thumbnail. I kind of do like a half moon. And I do a half moon right there. A little bit down my nose. And I hit my little lines right here. And I also put a little bit on my chin. And so, now here's the fun part. This the lighter one. You take the lighter one and you go right up under that a dab, right up under that a dab. Just a dab everywhere else you put it. Look like I got on my war paint, don't it, y'all? I'm ready to go to battle. Who want it? And so what I like to do is let this sit or bake. And while it's doing that, I snatch out my contour color. And that is also Fenty. And I use the Fenty Matchstick. I love these, y'all. Look, they come stuck together. But I'm using the Matchstick in the shade Truffle for my contour. And it's a dark color. And you want to either find your cheekbone, mine is here, or you can just draw a line from the top of your ear. Imagine it comes to the corner of your face. So the regular way as I do it is I curve it up a little bit. You see that? I curve it in just a little bit. You shaping your face, giving a little dimension. And then I also like to make my forehead look smaller. Sometimes I like my big 5 head, but you want to hit a little line around your forehead. A little hairline action. And then you want to kind of make your face, shape your face a little bit. Like right now, I feel like my face look a little extra round. So I contour. So you go from behind your ear. You see that? And around your chin. And then I'm going to do a little nose contour. So what I'm going to do is take the same stick and go along the side. Just a touch. Not a lot. Not a lot. Not a lot. See it? And you put a little bit across the end right there. And down that. It look crazy now. But it's going to be cute. Watch. So, you let this bake a little bit. And also, I be trying to add extra highlight. So this is another step. You don't have to do this. You can skip it. This just me being extra. And right above my highlight, I take another matchstick. This one is in cinnamon, I believe. And I just kind of go right on my cheeks. Right above where I put that highlight at. This is, right where I put that contour at. This is just going to add some extra sheen to my skin, a little glowy. And so while that's baking, I take my brush and I blend out my forehead. Nope, I'm wrong. I take a sponge and I spray it with my Fix Plus. and I blend out that dark contour. So what you want to do is take your fat end and get the underjaw part. And you kind of want to blend that down. And this makes the shadow that makes your face look smaller. Can you see that? Don't forget that forehead spot. You want to blend that into your hair, back into your hairline. So now that I done got everything else blended out just right, now I can go in here and get this part. Now this is where these two colors that I laid, if you laid one, just blend that. But because I'm extra and I put two, I'm going to re-hit my sponge one more good time. And I'm going to blend those two together. And you just want to pounce. And what you're looking for is for it to make your jawbone pop. Now, some people like it to be harsh and strong. I don't like it harsh and strong. I just need you to give me a little shadow. And you see that sheen it added to it? Look at that. Look at that glow. And then you take this, same thing over here. That camera be focusing and that light be flaring, y'all. It's trying to catch that light on me and make me glow. So now that I got that blended out on that side, you see it? Same, that sheen, that glow. I'm going to take a brush and blend out my forehead, my nose contour, and my chin, and my little creases. And I'm going to leave my eyes, my under eyes for last. And the brush I'm going to use for that is a... If I can find it, y'all, my brushes be hiding. I got 1,000,002 brushes. Okay, the one I'm going to use is this. This is a brush from, I want to say it's a NYX brush. Nope, it's a Wet n Wild brush. And once again, I'm going to hit it with the fix fluid. And I'm going to blend out my forehead, my nose, and my chin. I'm going to start on my chin. And you want to get pouncing motions with that too. And you want to make sure you're looking at your face in all these different angles so you don't look crazy and not have no harsh lines. And if you feel like you got a little too dark somewhere, take that brush with your foundation on it. And you could just go over and blend it out. You know, it's more of a trial and error thing with makeup. I play in my face, playing makeup all the time. See how that blend out and gave me a little glow right there? Same thing over here. I blend it out. And how you shade and shadow your face can make your face look a different shade. So now I'm going to get that forehead spot right there. Don't forget that. And get down that nose. I forgot to get my sponge and get the sides where I had that dark color at. You want to blend that out. See that? Okay, so now that I got everything else blended out, you see? You want to take your setting spray, whatever kind you use. I just happen to use the Fix Plus by MAC in the rose scent. Give yourself a couple of pumps. Fan it for a second and then blend that under eye. Now it's up to you. Sometimes I concentrate my highlight to right here, just under my eye. But if I'm trying to snatch my face back, I pull it up just a touch. You see how that look? Same thing on this side. Under eye. Snatch it back. You just go back over your spots and make sure they all blended good. And what you don't want to do is let this sit too long because you'll crease, right? You don't want creasing. So while it's still good to go, you want to get your powder now. Now, you could be using a loose powder, or you could be using a pressed powder. I'm right now on the whole pressed powder kick, and I'm going to set my under eye with a lighter color and the rest of my face with some other powders. We're going to get there. So this is the Fit Me Matte Poreless Pressed Powder, and it's in the shade 130, and I'm going to be setting it. You can either use a brush to set, or you can use a sponge to set. So what you want to do is kind of saturate your brush with it, and you want to press it like in abundance, a little overage of it. This is kind of like baking without doing excess. And as you press it in, you setting it. So you want to kind of press and pounce it in. See it? Okay, so now that I got that set, I'm going to get me some more powders out and finish the rest of this judge up. And you want to put this powder everywhere that you put the light powder, the light concealer. And you see how I got like a spotlight in the middle of my face? So I kind of have low lights and highlights naturally. So now you want to get the rest of your powders to set your face. You want to set the rest of your foundation. You can use also the Matte Poreless Fenty Fit Me powder. And this is in the shade 330, which is caramel. And a big old fluffy brush. And I kind of just judge this around. You ain't got to pack this on because you still got to put on bronzer and all that. So, and you just hit the rest of your face with this. So now that I have the rest of my face set, I can move on to bronzing and blushing and highlighting. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using my Fenty bronzer, Sunstalker bronzer in the shade Banjin Girl. And I'm taking this on a Luxie flathead brush. And just you putting that kind of where you put the dark browns at. Around your edge. This brings your color back to your face. So now that I got some brownness back to me, because I was looking a little pale and a little washed out with my light self, I want to then use a little bit, make sure I got my powders in there good. Now I want to put some blusher on. Now how I choose the blush is just how I'm feeling. Today I am feeling a little rosy cheeks. So I'm going to put my little rosy cheeks on. And to do that, I will be using the Wander Beauty Trip for Two palette, and it has a bronzer and a blush in it. I'm just going to be using the blush. It is in the shade Daiquiri. And so for my blush, I like to just put it right in my rosy parts. So I just pounce it in that rosy part and brush it back into my hairline just a touch. And I'm light skinned, so I naturally blush across my nose, so I put a little bit on there too. You don't got to, but I do. And I also just kind of, whatever's left on the brush, get around. How that's looking for y'all. And so, now that I've got some blush to my skin, it's time for my favorite part, the highlighter. And so, I'm going to be using the MAC highlighter palette. And it has 3 shades. It has a goldy shade, a rosy shade, and like a bronzer shade. I like the glow, so I'll be using like the bronzy shade too. And I put that where my bronzer go. That little brown color, I put it where my bronzer go. And then I take another little brush for my highlighter. And this is my highlight brush. And I kind of go between the gold one and the peachy one. Make sure I ain't got too much, and I hit it with a little judgy. See, I ain't doing too much, just doing a little bit. And then I also like to put a little bit down the streak of my nose, just a little bit with my finger. And then I hit the tip of my nose, because I like my little nose to highlight. And then I also like to dust a little bit right there. So that's the base finished. I'm going to step away, do some finishing touches, and show you the final look. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So here's the finished look. While I was away, what I did was I added this lip color. This is PMS by Fenty in the Plush Matte Lip Color. And I also lined my bottom lash with the Julep Gel Eyeliner in the shade Black. And I also put a couple of coats of Better Than Sex mascara on by Too Faced. And for my eye look, in case you wanted to know, I used the same palette as last time. I used the Nubian 2. And on my lid, I have the shade, I have the shade Ya, which is this one. And in my crease, just a little bit to darken it up, I used the shade Madagascar. No, I did not use Madagascar. I used Kenya. And in my inner corner, I used this shade right here, which is Zuri. And look at that base. Look at that. I'm glowing. I'm highlighting. And if you stayed around this long, I appreciate you. And I hope you like, share, comment down below, and subscribe. Tell me what you want to see in the next video. I plan on doing a drugstore makeup video. That's all affordable products. This video was kind of Fenty heavy. They're kind of my favorite. But thank you for joining me. See you next time. Bye.